He's not even here.
You know, just like Miss. All of you. She's like, what do you mean, all of us?
I love that you called it season 2.
try and show kindness to a proud dragon and make sure that he is protected.
He'll bring one of his hands to his chin as he kind of thinks about what you've said and shakes his head.
I've been so preoccupied with redistributing the stones. It slipped my mind that he could be vulnerable. One does not think of Nidhogg as vulnerable.
Blair will nod and say, most do not think of dragons as vulnerable, but in this time, I feel anyone or anything can be vulnerable.
Very well. Would you like to call him here, or shall I?
I feel that he would probably respond to you over me, so you may have the honors.
You mentioned something about wanting to speak to someone else. I have a unique connection to the Covenant.
Oh,
Is there another dragon you wish to summon here?
yes, I was hoping to speak with my father, Fafnir.
He'll nod as if he had already known that you would want to.
I figured it was more polite to ask for permission.
Blair will thank
He'll
him.
he'll turn around, wings still folded over his shoulders, and he'll shut his eyes. As he does so, he'll communicate silently to Nidhogg and to Fafnir. Here's where I roll.
Is this because he holds like all the covenant stones that he can speak with them like this?
Yes, he's
Or
the
is it
one that
different?
held them
Okay.
all. Inside his being, it altered him. It kind of
Mm.
bathed him in his Starian radiation. It changed him.
Mm.
He's more dragon than he is man now.
Oh, so like he has more scales and stuff like that on him.
Yeah. His scales reach up to like the sides of his face. His horns are larger. His wings are larger. He's taller.
Mm-hmm.
He still looks humanoid, but you can tell that he's been altered,
Mm-hmm.
and as a result, he has a unique connection with the original Covenant. Not the new ones, though, just the original.
Gotcha.
These stones were bathed in their faith circles for so long that they just kind of meshed with Ziramar.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't take long, maybe a few minutes before a sonic boom just kind of pops overhead. As it does so, um,
Oh, as Ziramar.
Incoming target from
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
south.
gonna say.
Shall I annihilate it?
No. We're just summoning two dragons here. So if two dragons are coming, just leave them alone. Let me know if there's anything else, though.
Whitelisting dragons.
Another ding
um,
that goes off, and he's like, "Damn it! I thought I fixed that." He begins playing with his headset again.
um, as Ivatan is telling Sapphire Weapon not to attempt to destroy whatever is flying here, the sonic boom will occur overhead, and a 9-foot tall knight, just kind of clad entirely in obsidian, will land just behind Ziramar, in view of Blair. He'll stand there quietly for a moment before he turns his attention to Blair.
I am told that you wish to speak to me.
Blair will. She'll seem confident on the outside, but it's always intimidating to see a a dragon in his night form, right? So even though she knows Nidhogg, she has that like little like whelpling scared thing inside her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And then she'll just kind of like close her eyes and take a deep breath and smile. And like in Draconic again, she'll continue and she'll say, I did, and I hope, and very quietly, she'll say, and I hope that we can perhaps speak in, your native tongue, just in case.
He'll hesitate and then nod, altering his speech to speak in Draconic.
It has been a long time. A dragon in exile does not often have the opportunity to speak in this ancient language.
Blair will nod her head and she'll say, I hope you are not offended, and I hope that it brings some form of happiness.
No happiness.
Mm.
I am far too used to being the exile. But there is no insult either. Now then, little one. What can I do for you?
Blair will look at him and she'll say, it's not exactly what you can do for me. I was hoping that perhaps I could speak to you and not necessarily save you, because you are the great Nidhogg and you do not need saving. But I worry about your alignment. You watched over my brother after he became Eldraskir. You were willing to even give up your life for Eldraskir. And I would like to repay back that kindness that you've shown us. And I know that as a being aligned to darkness, you may or may not have been hearing whispers, but I do know that he, the void in the sky, is getting stronger and is able to even corrupt things that are earth aligned, and darkness is closer to cosmic than earth. And I worry of you not being with a warrior of light, that perhaps he'll try and seek you out.
Nidhogg will look at you very quietly, obviously betraying no emotion, considering he's clad completely in armor. As he looks at you and you explain this to him, he'll turn his attention to Ziramar, whose back is still turned to him, looking out towards the sea.
The barrier buckles. I have been having strange dreams of late. I have heard his commands, his whispers.
He'll turn and just kind of stare at Ziramar's back.
Have you nothing to say? Why didn't you tell me? I am no whelpling that needs protection. You of all people know. I would have fought him on my own terms. And as the barrier shattered all around us, I would have defied him without burdening you. Any of you. For someone who claims to not be a whelpling, you are a fool, Nidhogg.
You'll see Nidhogg's just kind of composure drop as he reacts to being called a fool.
Oh. Blair will step in, because she's not sure how this is going, because like they both seem kind of like their pride is wounded, but at the same time they're both being very prideful. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Because
Mhm.
like Ziramar is like, why didn't you tell me? So like his pride was wounded that like Nidhogg didn't tell him, but then he's also kind of being a bit prideful in his responses. So Blair will step in and she will say, now is not the time for these arguments. Now is the time for trying to correct things we may not have seen, whether intentionally, unintentionally, whatever. Once the void is done with, then if you would like, we can readdress this situation. But Ziramar, you know how prideful dragons are. And she'll just like like cough Eldraskir under her breath. Like to say, like, she also has someone who's very prideful, so she knows what he's dealing with.
You'll
And
like hear Eldraskir scoff.
he's like,
In your summon materia, like,
yeah.
"Pfah."
And Blair will look at Nidhogg and she'll say, though I know you would fight off the voids, um, I don't know what to call it, like whispers as much as you could. In the end, it would be folly for us not to reach out to one another and ask for help when this is a time that we should be seeking it from one another.
I would have embedded my spear into that ugly thing's face.
Ziramar will turn around.
And you would have died. I would have died with honor. Honor! You would have died with honor. You mean like Bahamut did?
When he says Bahamut, like Blair will kind of recoil.
So will Nidhogg.
It is easy to say that we dragons are prideful, and to blame it on something that we have no control over, but there is another thing that we dragons are known for.
As he says that, you guys will hear like the cliff line just kind of crunch as a wingless dragon just kind of crawls up the side of the cliff line and looks back and forth between the three people discussing.
Blair's face will break into a huge smile as she says father in Draconic.
Child?
She'll go and run to him and hug him.
Please go on. Do not suffer an interruption from my arrival.
As you hug him, he'll just kind of put a large claw over you, hugging you as well, very gently.
But I do believe I can answer kinship.
Ziramar will nod to Fafnir before turning his glare to Nidhogg.
The King of Dragons stood boldly, proudly, and died. Not an honorable death. Your brother died a slave, Nidhogg. So your pride be damned. You should have said something. I would not have you dishonor me again, Ziramar. I regretted what I did for a long time, Nidhogg. But I am not the same man. I did not dishonor you when I saved you that day. I saved a foolish, prideful, stupid dragon from dying a needless death. I saved my brother. And I'm done apologizing to you for it. Now you can put your pride aside and let us help you. Or I can make you submit and do it for you. But I'm not going to let you die. Or worse, become a slave.
Nidhogg will stare straight forward, looking at Ziramar without really saying anything.
Well,
Fafnir will interject.
it seems the boy has turned into a man.
Blair will.
Ziramar speaks the truth, Nidhogg. Pride is fickle and fleeting. There are so little of us left. There's so little of our heritage, our family left. Besides, my money is on the halfling.
Nidhogg will turn his attention very slowly to Fafnir.
You watch your tongue, old man.
Fafnir will bring up his claws as if to just kind of ward off any negative reaction.
Oh no, like a kind of thing.
Like a don't look at me.
Blair
Nidhogg will turn his attention back to Ziramar and nod.
He did die a slave, didn't he? That foolish oath.
Nidhogg will turn his attention back to Blair.
Thank you.
Blair will just smile and she'll say no. I owe you my life, my brother's life, and I would hate to see my friends, Star and Ziramar, um, be saddened over the loss of their brother.
Very well then. What is your solution, Whelpling?
Blair will look between Ziramar and Nidhogg, and she'll say, well, at one point you two had teamed up. Why not team up for round two?
Nidhogg will look at Ziramar.
Do you still consider me worthy?
As he says that, he'll reach into his chest and pull out a jet black summon materia, extending it out to Ziramar. Ziramar will smile fondly, reach out and take the summon materia. As he does so, he'll clasp Ziramar's arm with his.
Always. Quite the matchmaker you are, Blair.
Blair will just smile and she'll say, ah, it's from years and years of experience.
Again, Ildraskur will scoff. As you say that, Ziramar will stare at the summon materia, as if realizing that a piece of him was missing. And he'll very slowly junction it into his forearm.
Blair will smile and just say, you have learned much since the last time. Just put it to use. The two of you, even if there's a disagreement, try and come to terms and see the other side. Don't fight and part ways, especially not in a time like this when we need one another the most.
Fafnir will nod as you say that. Nidhogg will nod as well. Fafnir will then turn to look at you and just kind of poke you with one of his massive claws.
Blair will just go,
This is all very touching. It warms me inside when I see dragonkind coming together. But I assume that is not the reason I am here.
Blair will look at her father and she'll say, well, it was one of the reasons I asked you to be here. I knew your wisdom would help out tremendously should things go awry, as they almost did. And she'll kind of like chuckle and laugh. And she will say, Father, I have one more thing to discuss with them, and then you and I have much to talk about ourselves. She'll step towards Ziramar with a letter in her hand, and she'll look between Nidhogg and Ziramar, and she'll say, I'm not sure if she knows what happened. So this letter will explain everything from our fight with Spiritus. But when she learns that her grandfather has died, I'm pretty sure her two brothers is who she would want there to console her.
Ziramar will gently take the letter and nod.
And Blair will say one more thing. She'll say, and if her new sire has any suggestions about what to do with the Colosseum, I will stay here till the moon is at its highest. If she comes, or if Star speaks through her to me, then I will speak with them. But if they do not come, I will understand that I must find a way and that they are busy. And she'll just kind of clasp Ziramar. I don't know where she comes up to him, but she'll just like clasp him
About
on
his
his back.
chest.
Oh, okay, he real tall.
He's very tall, yeah.
And she'll tell both of them to be safe. And if they
He'll
need
nod,
anything, to let her know.
and then he'll tilt his head in as if about to inquire.
What do you mean, what to do with the Colosseum?
And Blair will just point at the letter and she'll say, "It's all in there. Everything." And she'll turn to her father and she'll say, "Which is another thing I need to talk to you about." And I guess Ziramar's still there, so she'll say, "The Colosseum, Valhalla, is no longer under Hades' protection, and Shinryu is in there. We put him there for safekeeping to protect him against Zodiark." And she'll just kind of stop because she said the name and she'll kind of like look around. And
Nothing
then
happens.
she'll 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 continue and she'll say, "Without um Hades' protection, I worry about Shinryu. I don't even know if he's fallen under the void's um
Control.
puppet control." And
I'll let Karnan. Was Karnan there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let Karnan just kind of stop singing for a moment and inform Blair. Unless Rick doesn't know what I'm talking about.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Who was in the session with Shemzai?
thought it was Neil, uh, Keros, Trevos, Lumi, and Nibble.
Okay, which means you all would have heard. So,
Oh, I was trying to do this at the same time as that was going on.
really?
Yeah. Should I
Okay.
not?
Well, I mean, you should. You could, or you could do it a little after. That
I
part of what you just said is taken care of.
Oh,
During the
okay.
session with, we'll say this out of character, just so we can retcon Blair saying this. I think she would be aware. During that session, they went to find out what was wrong with the Colosseum. They found out that it had something to do with the rune etched into the floor of the Colosseum that was put there by Zodiark while he was
Yeah.
controlling Hades.
I read the Kingdom Hearts thing. Nibble
Yep.
put Excalibur. Yeah.
They locked it and destroyed the rune. They found out it came from an ex-member of of the Lunarian High Council.
Oh. Okay.
Either way, removing that curse on Valhalla allowed Valhalla to recover and to once again
Oh.
become shrouded from Zodiark's gaze.
Okay.
So all the Eidolons that were brought to Valhalla are safe again because of Nibble, because of the people that were there, and of course because of Shemzai's sacrifice.
Okay. I wasn't aware that they were able to reprotect it again.
Yep. Which is why I wanted to kind of intercede. You wouldn't have to
Okay.
bring this up because you would know that Shinryu is safe.
Okay. Well, never mind then.
As you give Ziramar the letter, he'll smile fondly.
Would you like your privacy then to speak with Fafnir?
And she'll nod her head and will say, "Please. I'm sure your sister needs you more."
Very well. I'll deliver this letter.
He'll hesitate before he leaves.
Take care, Blair.
And she'll just smile and say, "Same to you, Your Majesty."
Would you like a lift, little one?
And Nidhogg will say that to Ziramar. As Ziramar turns, Ziramar will hesitate and look at him.
Not quite so little anymore, Nidhogg.
And he'll flex his wings and take off at a speed that is surprising.
Oh, crap.
Not quite as fast as Nidhogg, but enough to make Nidhogg just kind of take a step back, like, well, damn. Nidhogg will approach and will clasp one of his massive gauntlets on your shoulder.
You do us all proud, Blair.
Blair will clasp his hand that's on her shoulder, and like she'll just have kind of watery eyes because she's being recognized by Nidhogg. And she'll say, I just try to do what's right. Especially when it comes to our kind. There's so few of us left. But if it warms your heart to know, I have found out recently a new clutch has been found on Nova, and the warriors were able to protect most of them.
You'll feel like a slight tremor in his hand. It's like pure bliss.
That is good to hear. Tell that whiny brother of yours I'd hate to have to save him again.
Blair will just think inside her head and she'll say, Did you hear that?
Tell him to stay close to you. I know you'll keep him safe.
Nidhogg will say as he turns and takes off. As he turns and takes off, you'll hear in your head Eldraskir get all pissed off.
What?
Blair will just be like, oh, God, inside voice. Inside voice, he can't hear you.
The like summon materia in your arm will just kind of flare for a moment like he wants to come out.
She'll be like, he's gone. He's gone. Okay, so then
As they both leave, Fafnir will just kind of get your attention again by poking you.
she'll be like,
If your
I-
concern
Go ahead.
is... If your concern for me is similar to the concern you had for Nidhogg, I have had no dreams, and the only voice I hear, well, is a symptom of old age.
Blair will smile at her dad and like play punch, but she knows he's a dragon, so he can take it a bit more. So like where it normally would probably hurt like a mortal, like she just kind of does that to him. She'll say, I know that you probably have not heard voices. Your holy aligned father. And she'll say, no, but I do have something to tell you. And she will recount what she's heard from the other warriors that were there about Amadeus having Tiamat ripped from his arm, like her summon materia, ripped from his arm by the former Emperor Palamecia on like behalf of the Void. And she'll express a great concern as to why they're so interested in Tiamat.
As you say that, his face will go from being playful to being concerned.
The eyes of the seeress It is the only thing that separates Tiamat from the rest of us. A unique draconic gift. The ability to see the past, present, and future of those she lays eyes upon. Zodiac, no doubt, wants to use this somehow. It is concerning.
Claire will look at him and she'll say, I know that the Covenant and Tiamat have been at odds. Would she submit to Zodi? She'll stop herself and she'll say, to the void?
Through her alignment, I doubt the choice would be hers. Whether she will it or not is irrelevant. She will be made to serve, as Nidhogg would have.
And she'll ask Fafnir, is there anything you could do to change her faith to be more aligned to your background?
He'll shake his head.
There is nothing I can do. There is something you can do, however.
Claire's face will perk up.
You'll see him just kind of look up towards the stars, towards where Zodiac is, and you'll see kind of like a pained expression on his face.
I can tell you the secret that she has kept for a long time. One only Bahamut and I knew. The location of her faith circle.
He'll turn his eyes to you, and you'll just kind of see them welling with tears.
So you can destroy it.
When he says so she can destroy it, she'll kind of like open her mouth and gasp, and she'll say, although Tiamat isn't a favorite aunt of mine, I wouldn't want to see her faith destroyed.
Dear daughter, though I do not claim to know why, the primordial of the void wishes to know the past, present, and future. Both you and I know his ultimate goal. If he is to succeed, then there will be none of us left.
Blair will nod her head and she'll say, then we will count this as Plan B, should my fellow warriors not be able to fight the Emperor and gain her summon materia back from him.
He'll nod.
Is there aught else that you need?
Blair will kind of look at him and she'll say, I've been going through the books, the history of the warriors, and curiously, I came upon a little dragon that they found, a hydra, who said that he was never able to get old. They named him, and then she'll just kind of roll her eyes and she'll say, apparently they named him Car Smack. And she'll say, who is this little hydra? Does he have connections with her?
Though we dragons of the Covenant belong to the faith, we have long attempted to
He'll hesitate for a moment.
naturally reproduce. Those of us that can have only done so once, twice over the millennia. Tiamat was unique in that aspect as well. She often contributed to the brood of dragonkind. The rest of us had to make do with other methods. The dragon of which you speak was an offspring of Tiamat's.
Blair will kind of have like a shocked face, but then will compose herself and she'll ask, does he have the gift that his mother has?
Considering the brood would not be of pure blood, I doubt it, though it is not impossible. As for his location, I'm afraid I do not know. Tiamat has gone through painstaking efforts to hide her brood. No doubt due to her own ambitions.
Hmm. So he's no longer on Grand Pulse.
Dragons that are direct descendants from us are powerful. By now, he would have the strength to leave. I know not where he would be.
Blair will nod and she'll say, if you do hear any rumors, would you please let me know as soon as you can?
Normally, I would suggest asking Shinryu. Shinryu has always been skilled in detecting those who would remain shrouded. But I doubt that Shinryu would be able to read the stars as freely as he once did.
Blair will nod in agreement.
So I'm afraid you'll have to find another way to find the little whelp. But I will ask.
Blair will thank her father. And she'll look over at Karnan, who's singing, but she's
He's blue in
assuming.
the face by now, and his
Yeah,
voice is
yeah,
hoarse.
yeah, yeah. She's assuming that he's looking at her with daggers in his eyes because there's a dragon there. And so she'll just kind of wave him over. And she'll say,
Uh,
"That was a beautiful concert, Karnan. Here's a
is,
dragon."
is this my voice, Kupo? Ugh. You know, Kupo, I don't really have the vocal range to sing fairy for an hour, Kupo, but we did it.
And she'll also wave her hand over to Ivatan and will begin to speak common. She'll say, "Join us."
I Ivatan will have one of those, like, anime snot bubbles, like, he's standing perfectly still, arms crossed, and he has, like, one of those anime, like, bubbles going, and he's, like you can see his head, like, slowly nodding off and then coming out. As soon as she says, "Come on," he, like, goes full alert and stands up and then, like, wipes the drool off his face and is like, making sure, like, looking around. "Nobody saw that? Okay, good. Play it cool, Ivatan, play it cool," and he'll just kinda, like, give her, like, a head up, like, "Sup?" And then just start walking over to her.
Sup? As both of you walk over, Fafnir will switch the language he's speaking to common.
On behalf of all of us, I thank both of you for your efforts. It has allowed us to enjoy this rare reunion.
course,
The
Kupo.
dragon will kind of bow his head to Karnan and then to Ivatan.
Oh, the bow's not necessary. We'll always help you guys. We helped Nidhogg way back when, and, well, practically have a lot of family in the Warriors of Light as he, like, gestures to Blair. We'll always do anything for you guys. The Warriors and the Covenant have always been close.
You have protected, you and yours have protected these jewels for a very long time, Kupo, from the threat we now face. I am humbled that you are willing to pass the torch to us, Kupo.
I can think of no hero more deserving, heroes more deserving than the warriors.
He'll turn his attention back to Blair and again wrap one of his massive claws around her.
Parting is such sweet sorrow, child.
Blair will hug him and she'll say, "I wish that I could see you more often, Father, but with the world always being in peril, I do find myself not coming to see you as much as I would like. I don't want you to forget your daughter."
Impossible.
And she'll kind of take out the sword that Ziramar was able to procure for her. And she'll say, "My only hope is that I make you proud and that your wisdom spreads through me, along with your tenacity as a warrior for fighting."
He'll trace like a claw over the blade and tap it and cause it to like kind of sing out a little bit.
I am already proud, daughter. Till
Blair,
we meet again.
Blair will nod.
He'll turn, causing the entire cliff line to kind of shudder a little bit.
And
And
she'll
he'll
look at.
leap off
Oh.
the cliff.
I was gonna say she was gonna look at Cardan and she was gonna say, "Dragon's breath," like ask him, like you didn't ask.
He wanted to add something?
I don't know
Is
if
he
the
like
time
starstruck?
seemed right, Cooper.
The dragon will leap off the cliff, diving into the water, submerging completely, and you'll see like his shadowy form just kind of swim away.
I didn't realize that Fafnir didn't fly.
Nope, he does not fly. That's why it took him so long to get here. Nidhogg, however.
Dang.
Okay. Is that it?
Yeah, that's all I wanted. Oh, well, I guess I was
As
gonna wait, but like the Colosseum thing is done, so
Mm-hmm.
if either of the two needed to speak with Tsukiyomi or needed something else to do.
I don't, but as we're watching Fafnir go away in the nice evening sky, we're both sitting there as the wind's blowing. Ivatan will come in between both of you and put his hand on your shoulders and be like, I just realized we have a lot of parental issues in this group. And he looks at Karnan and looks at Blair. It's kind of fucked up, actually.
Blair, Blair will shrug and she'll say, "Maybe it's one of the things Etro looks for when choosing."
Fucked up family life, fucked up family life.
I mean, wow. He just like shakes his head and continues to enjoy the
The
sunset.
view, the sunset. Well, and with the setting of the sun, I don't need votes for MVP, do I? No.
I don't
It was
think so.
basically
so.
just Miss Mess
RP?
speaking with four
Precautions.
of my characters.
Sorry.
It's okay. In that case, I will adjourn the session and start typing out rewards for the session. Thanks for joining us. That was actually really fun.
Thank you guys for your help.
Is cathartic the word? It gave me closure on some things, which
Oh,
is really
really?
cool. Yep.
What did it give you closure on?
The thing between Zeromar and Nidhogg was always kind of upsetting,
Mm,
and it kind of mended that, which I think is really cool. Being able to see Fafnir treat Blair like a daughter, which was also very very rewarding.
Have him
No,
even
I just
engage the Warriors of Light again, like because he's been on like not speaking terms with us for quite a
yeah.
while.
that changed when Blair was introduced.
Yeah.
I agree, but it's nice to have him
Yeah.
back now as like a
Since
I
Bean
agree.
have passed.
Wasn't
That
expecting
was
to
a
cry
long
today,
hour,
damn it.
too. Yeah, you're right.
We
Yeah.
can't hear you.
Wasn't expecting to cry tonight, damn it.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You cried at the Zeromar Nidhogg?
Yep. Yep.
Bubba.
Well,
Name is Hades, Lord of the Dead. Hi, how you doing?
Them being reunited, like that got me.
I do feel a lot better with the Nidhogg situation. I didn't realize that the Colosseum situation had been taken care of, so I guess it wasn't as dire as I thought. But
It was pretty dire, but they addressed it.
no, I mean like the session of me trying to call Fafnir and like getting stuff settled. That's what I meant. Like it. I thought it was a lot worse that we were gonna about, but yeah, no, it was all good. It was all good.
I thought I made it clear that Valhalla was fine.
I didn't see that when I read it, so maybe that was just me missing it. My bad. It was maybe because I was focused on the rune, and then knowing that it was like a Kingdom Hearts thing. Before Apollo even said anything, and then I was focused a lot about it was Cyrex, right? He like dreamed after he passed. That's who shot the bullets at Shemzai.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He dreamed
So
and became an idol called Mustadio.
yeah. So that also like was ingrained in my brain.
So you didn't want to get
And
sniped.
then I mean, it wasn't even just him because like I was saying, like I was trying to treat this as the two things were happening at the same time. So I didn't think Blair would have known. But being like someone who is battle hardened before she even got to the warriors, right? From all the wars that she'd fought in, she would be very cautious about open
She should be.
areas and then about people eavesdropping and people turning like regardless if it's of their own volition for whatever reason or against their will, like turning spy. You know what I mean? Like she would just have all these precautions. She wouldn't know about a sniper, but she would know being on the low ground as opposed to the high ground isn't the desired area you would want to be. It's not strategic. So I was just trying to play her as someone who has seen action, who is a general. That's why she wasn't speaking common. Like she wanted it to be because I'm assuming only a handful of people or like few people would know how to speak Draconic. Obviously, people with Beast Tongue and people who are Dragonkin would know, but the vast majority of people on Nova and Chrysalis wouldn't know Draconic. That's why she's trying to, you know.
Beast tongue doesn't automatically allow you to speak Draconic.
Oh,
Nope.
really?
Nope.
You might pick up
Oh.
like the odd word maybe here and there, but dragons are their own sentient species aside from beasts.
Oh, okay.
Beast
So I
tongue
thought
kind of
Beast
is
Tongue
almost
would.
more like learning a technique or magic that allows you to communicate with beasts.
Mm.
It doesn't necessarily give you the ability to understand a complex language spoken by an intelligent species.
Okay. That's how I took it. That's why she wanted to. Okay, well then that's even less people, right?
That's
It's
why
just
I wasn't reacting to anything you guys were talking about, because I was like, Karnan might pick up the odd like word or phrase here and there that he's heard like, lower tier dragons talk or say when he's fighting or whatever, but
Mhm.
he might have a slightly higher likelihood of learning bits of Draconic because of his knowledge of Beast Tongue, but it doesn't
Mhm.
directly translate, especially to
Oh,
a complicated emotional discussion.
you
I
know
was
what else Blair was
tempted.
meant to ask, and I
I was
forgot in the moment. Okay, go ahead, Thunder.
I was tempted to ask Ruby Weapon to see if he could translate it.
Wow.
Then I
He
was
would have
like,
been able to.
yeah. Then I was like, that might interfere with Sapphire though, so I'll just leave it alone. It's not that important.
I was
Sapphire
gonna.
Weapon was given all of the knowledge acquired from Ruby Weapon, and Ruby Weapon was able to dissect and torture a lot of dragons.
Oh
So
no.
it's
Uh,
Hojo. So
Blair was gonna ask Fafnir, but I know she can't now. But if you said that like Ruby Weapon might know, would would they be able to if she asks if Ragnarok is a dragon, would Ruby Weapon or Sapphire Weapon know?
Ragnarok has nothing to do with Hojo.
Oh, okay.
So
I just thought if
they
they
wouldn't be able to know.
okay.
A person to ask would have been one of the brothers that was alive when the towers were built. So like Bente, Faraz,
Oh. Okay.
Maduin.
So not even like the dragons, like not even Fafnir. Like this is old before them.
Yes, actually, all of this would be before them, except for Bahamut
Mhm.
and Eldraskir. They're the eldest.
Oh, would Eldraskir know if she asked him?
Eldraskir was seething in a cavern,
Oh.
and Bahamut
walked
was
away.
Bahamut had insomnia, or not insomnia,
yeah.
amnesia.
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 Poor guy can't sleep.
Yeah.
It's
That's kind of weird for a faith too.
Right? How the fuck did you dream, sir?
Um,
Oh, okay. So just there's no one. Well, I guess like Maduin, but he's off with Star as far as we know. But that was did Maduin he died and fell asleep and became Maduin? Like an Eidolon? Right?
what?
Did Maduin like die and become a Eidolon?
Yep. Same as everyone
Okay.
else.
Okay. Because I was remembering something when I was taking a shower a couple days ago about if Amon's faith was like waning, like he was gonna die. Like I thought he said something like the flicker we would see flickers of Trevos or something like that because Trevos is from him. Am I remembering that right? Something about that? Like Trevos would start to disappear?
No. Trevas can sustain himself.
Oh. I thought something was said along those lines. If something that was created by like
Amon had to sacrifice something to create Trevas using Lunarian magic. You guys don't know what he sacrificed to make
Yeah.
Trevas, though, but yes. But no, even if Amon perished,
Okay.
then Trevas would be able to continue living.
Okay. I thought I remember something about that when the Pelennor was we could only see Pelennor and Amon couldn't. I thought he was saying something about that. And so then I was wondering if because Hades has passed, if a part of like Maduin was waning since he was created by
Nope.
Bente. Okay.
Technically, only a third of Hades has passed.